Most explanations sound like they were written by a robot for other robots. Blockchain is a distributed, decentralized, immutable ledger. Cool, thanks for nothing. Let's try this again. Imagine a notebook, but this one's weird. You can't erase anything. Everyone gets a copy, and once something's written, it's there forever. That's a blockchain, a giant public notebook that tattles on everyone and forgets nothing. Every time you send Bitcoin, buy crypto, or trade a cat picture NFT, bam, a new entry goes in the notebook. Now multiply that notebook across thousands of computers, all checking each other constantly. If one notebook goes rogue, the rest call it out instantly. No trust required, no middleman. Just a gossip-proof paper trail that's everywhere and nowhere at once. Each block is just a page of transactions, linked to the one before it, like receipts, taped together into one massive chain. Try to mess with one. The whole thing screams, liar. So yeah, blockchain isn't magic. It's just a super clingy history book with zero chill. And somehow it works. Now when someone says blockchain, you don't have to fake laugh and run. You've got the notebook story. Use it wisely. So yeah, blockchain isn't magic. It's just a super clingy history book with zero chill. But the real question isn't what it is. It's why we even needed it in the first place. Like, what problem was bad enough that we invented this nerdy, global, tamper-proof notebook in the first place? Let's rewind a bit. Back when banks looked like castles and bookkeepers wore robes, everything ran on ledgers. A single book, one person in charge. And if that person messed up, or got bribed, or accidentally dropped it in a river, poof, your money's gone. That's the problem blockchain was born to fix. A traditional ledger is like giving your little cousin the only copy of Monopoly rules and hoping for the best. He's probably gonna cheat, and if the book's gone, so is the game. Blockchain flips that. Now everyone gets the rules. Everyone sees every move. No one can cheat without getting caught instantly. And because the ledger is spread out across thousands of machines, there's no single point of failure. It's not stored in one vault or server room. It's everywhere and nowhere at once. No middleman, no erasing. Just a permanent record that doesn't care if you trust it. It just works. Okay, now that we've dunked on the old system, what actually is this magical notebook? Let's keep it simple. A blockchain is just a list, but not your grocery list. This one records transactions. Every time something happens, money sent, NFT bought, token swapped, it gets written down. And when that list fills up, boom, it becomes a block. Now imagine each block is a page. Once filled, it gets stamped, sealed, and locked to the page before it, like receipts duct-taped together in order. Try to change a past page, the whole chain flips out, because every new block depends on the one before it. Break one, and the math stops adding up. That's the genius part. You can't just sneak into the system and fudge your numbers. Everyone else's copy would call you out, fast. This is where the decentralized part comes in. There's no one computer in charge. Every node on the network, aka computer, has the full copy of the blockchain. They're constantly comparing nodes. So if one node tries to cheat, the others reject it. Like an immune system for lies. Each block is made up of a list of verified transactions, a timestamp, a unique code called a hash, and the code from the block before it. This last part, that's what makes it a chain. If you mess with one block, the code breaks all the way down. And here's the wild thing, it's public. Anyone can view the data, not your identity, but the transactions themselves. So no need to trust a company or a bank or Dave from accounting. The system keeps itself honest because the structure makes cheating way harder than playing by the rules. So no, blockchain isn't magic. It's math, logic, and receipts, taped together so tightly that the past can't be rewritten. Now, let's zoom in. You've heard how it works, but how does it actually run under the hood? How it actually works. Simple step by step. Let's say you're sending your friend 0.01 Bitcoin. You hit send. What happens next? Step 1. Your transaction gets broadcasted to the network. It joins a pool of other transactions, all waiting in line like it's the DMV. Step 2. A bunch of computers, called nodes, pick up that pool and start working. But not all nodes are equal. Some are validators or miners, depending on the system. Their job? Double-check everything and bundle transactions into a block. Step 3. But they don't just add them. They play a game first. A competitive, math-heavy game. Think of it like Sudoku meets rocket science. Whoever solves the puzzle first gets to create the next block. This puzzle is called proof of work, or in some systems, proof of stake. More on that later. The point is, it takes real effort, which means it's super hard to fake. Step 4. Once the block is built, it includes all the new transactions, a timestamp, a reference to the previous block, and that weird math code, hash, that proves it's legit. Step 5. Now the block is broadcasted to the whole network. Every other computer checks it. If even one thing looks sketchy, wrong hash, bad signature, duplicate transaction, it's rejected. If it passes the test? Step 6. The block gets added to the chain, and everyone updates their copy of the ledger. Boom. Your Bitcoin is officially sent, and there's now a permanent time-stamped record saying it happened. No banks, no middlemen, just thousands of machines running checks on each other. Here's an analogy. Imagine every ATM in the world shares the exact same record of your bank account, and every time you spend money, they all update, instantly, together. No one can mess with your balance without all the others noticing. That's blockchain in action. It's not fast food, it's not flashy, but it's solid. Every block adds more trust, and once it's in, it's in. So when people say blockchain is trustless, they don't mean sketchy. They mean you don't need to trust anyone because the system itself won't let you cheat. Who runs the blockchain? And why it's not just tech bros. So we've got this global notebook. It updates itself. It checks for lies. But who's actually in charge of all this? Answer, no one. And also, everyone. There's no CEO of blockchain, no headquarters, no dusty server room in Silicon Valley with a guy named Chad pressing buttons. Instead, it runs on a network of computers called nodes. Some are Entai, some are laptops, some are mining rigs, reserver farms in Iceland powered by volcanoes. Seriously, each node keeps a full copy of the blockchain. They don't need to know or trust each other. They just agree on the rules and keep each other honest. Some of these nodes are just watchers. Others actually do stuff, like validating transactions, creating blocks, or proposing updates to the system. It depends on the blockchain. Bitcoin does it one way, Ethereum does it another, but the idea is the same. No single gatekeeper. You don't need permission to join. You don't need to apply. You don't even need to wear a tie. Anyone can run a node, contribute to the network, or just watch it do its thing. Think of it like a giant group project without a leader, but somehow it works better than most group projects ever have because everything is public, every change is recorded, and if someone tries to take over or cheat, the others shut it down instantly. This is what people mean when they say decentralized. It's not that no one's running the show, it's that everyone is, together. So no, it's not just tech bros, it's nerds, volunteers, tinkerers, companies, and randos with good Wi-Fi, all keeping the system alive. And that is kind of amazing. Why it's secure and why that matters. Let's talk about security, because when people hear digital money or online ledger, their brain goes straight to hackers, scams, Nigerian princes, no thanks. Fair. But here's the thing, blockchain isn't secured by passwords or firewalls. It's locked down by math. Every wallet has two keys, a public key, like your username, and a private key, like your super secret password. Anyone can send crypto to your public address, but only your private key can move it. Lose that private key? Your funds are stuck forever. No forgot password button, no customer support, just you and your regret. This system is called public key cryptography. It's been around for decades, and it's what keeps everything from online banking to encrypted messages safe. Now multiply that with thousands of nodes constantly checking each other. Add in the fact that once data is locked in a block, it can't be changed without rewriting the entire chain, which would require more computing power than most countries have. That's why blockchain is so hard to hack, not because it's invincible, but because it's designed to be painfully expensive to mess with. You could try faking a transaction, but you'd have to convince every other copy of the ledger that you're telling the truth. Spoiler, you won't. It's not trust that keeps the system safe. It's structure. That's why people call it trustless. You don't need to believe in the system. You just need to understand the math behind it. So when someone says, but isn't crypto just a scam? You can say, the tokens? Maybe. The tech? Bulletproof. So, why should you care? All right, cool story. But if you're not mining Bitcoin in your basement or launching a startup, why should any of this matter to you? Because blockchain isn't just some nerdy finance toy. It's a new way to do trust, without asking anyone's permission. Here's what that unlocks. You can send money to anyone, anywhere, instantly. No banks, no holidays, no begging for approval. Just click, done. You can own digital things and prove it. Not just memes and monkey JPEGs. We're talking contracts, property records, tickets, ID. You can use apps that no one can shut down. They're called decentralized apps, dApps, and they run on code, not servers. If one version goes offline, the others keep working. You can join a system that doesn't care who you are. No credit score, no paperwork, no gatekeepers. If you've got a wallet, you're in. And beyond personal use, governments are testing blockchain for voting. Farmers are tracking food from soil to store. Artists are getting paid directly without middlemen. It's not about hype. It's about reducing friction in a world full of it. You don't need to be a coder. You don't need to go all in. But understanding the basics, that's like knowing how the internet works before everyone else caught on. The tech that made crypto possible. Crypto gets all the attention, the price charts, the hype, the scandals, but none of it works without blockchain. It's the plumbing, the backstage crew, the part most people ignore until it breaks. Understanding blockchain isn't just for tech bros or finance nerds. It's like knowing how your car engine works, even if you're not building one. Because once you get the system behind crypto, everything else starts clicking. Why Bitcoin exists. Why NFTs are more than overpriced cartoons. Why decentralization actually matters. So next time someone says blockchain, you won't need to nod awkwardly and change the subject. You'll get it. The notebook, the blocks, the chain. And if that clicked, you're ready for the next step. Next video is about Bitcoin. We'll cover why it was created, how it runs on blockchain, and why people keep calling it digital gold. See you there.